I love the way the Message Bible in 1 John chapter 4 verses 17 to 18 explains how we live in God and God lives in us. It says God is love. And when we take up permanent residence in a life of love, we live in God and God lives in us. This way love has the run of the house, becomes at home and mature in us, so that we're free of worry on Judgment Day. Our standing in the world is identical with that of Christ. There's no room in love for fear. Well-formed love banishes fear. Since fear is crippling, a fearful life, fear of death, fear of judgment, is one not yet fully formed in love. In verse 18, we're told that well-formed love banishes fear. What are you fearful of? Are you fearful of death? Are you fearful of the judgment day? Many are fearful of not being loved, so they seek love in all the wrong places. Others fear not being recognized, so they dress differently than everyone else. Some believe they have to do the same in order for God to love them. They think if they pray more, cuss less, drink less, that God will be impressed with them. Do you understand that you don't have to woo God to love you? God has chosen to love you. According to Romans chapter 5 and verse 8, God showed us that his love for us by having Christ die for us while we were yet still sinners. Nothing you do will ever surprise God. God isn't going to say one day, "Man, I never knew they would do that." Or, "Did you see that? I am so ashamed of them." What you do may surprise you, but not God. Judgment Day is a date on all of our calendars. And what will matter on Judgment Day is if you are friends with the Son. Why? Because as we read earlier in 1 John 4:17, those who are in Christ have complete confidence and joy because he loves us and we love him too. One evening when I was in the Navy, I was returning to the base in Guam. The gate I was at was locked, but when I leaned on it, it swung open enough for me to squeeze through. And because I was lost, it seemed like a good idea at the time to wiggle through the gate. That good idea didn't last long. When I stepped through the gate, a Marine stood up with his M16 from behind a concrete barrier and shouted for me to stop. He wanted to know what I was doing there. And after some time, a friend of mine arrived and explained who I was. And because we were friends, the Marine let me go. I was never so scared in all my life. But because I knew the friend, I was free of judgment. And this is how it will be for all of us who are friends with Jesus. He shouts to the Father, "They are my friends." And because of that, we are free of judgment. We are loved. And this is Jesse Walker with the Glenwood Church of Christ.